Let Leta take you on a journey of faith, life, travel, and interior design. Take your life out of the status quo and into 2020. Status Life with Leta is brought to you by Status Home Design and by the law office of Derek M. Hayes at 404-777-HURT.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Status Life with Leta on Business RadioX. We are broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio in the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. On every episode of Status Life with Leta, we take you on a journey of faith, life, travel, and interior design. We want to take your life out of the status quo and into 2020. My name is Derek Hayes, and it's my pleasure to introduce the star of the show, Leta Brooks. Good afternoon, Leta.
Hi, good afternoon.
Before we begin, a quick reminder that Status Life with Leta is brought to you by Status Home Design, your one-stop shop for all of your home and gift needs, and by the law office of Derek M. Hayes. Injured in Georgia? Make the right call to the law office of Derek M. Hayes at 404-777-HURT. Well, let's get started.
Okay.
Before we do that, though, I want to welcome our special guest we have today. We have a returning guest, and that's Crystal Ledwith.
Yay! Welcome back. Hi.
There we go.
Yes. All right, so I must tell everyone listening, we are very honored to have Crystal here. She has flown in, literally pulling in the parking lot on two wheels because she's between appointments right now, and she's come in her scrubs. So we are so blessed that you're giving this show and all of our listeners more time because the feedback has been tremendous from you being here last time. So thank you so much for coming.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
And we're going to get to you a little more in a second, but before we do that, let's start with Leta.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about you and what Status Life with Leta is all
Oh,
about.
all right. So I'm in the hot seat.
Yes, you are.
So Status Life with Leta. I am a lifestyle podcaster, blogger. So we're going to cover everything under the sun. By trade, I'm an interior designer. That is my background. I've been an interior designer for 20 years. So we can talk trends. We can talk decorating. We can talk furniture. We've done home staging. We've done designer versus decorator. I've got lots of knowledge in that world to share with all of you. But being in the lifestyle kind of arena, there's a lot more to cover. Right now, we've got Crystal here, and we are on a 3 or 4 part series because there's so much to cover, trying to get back to a healthier lifestyle. All of us. I'm saying that very
included.
generally, right? We're all trying to get that quarantine 15 off, and it was on before quarantine started. Who am I kidding, right? I'm not using that as an excuse. That's just this funny little trend that's out there right now.
Yeah, but you looked at me when you said that, so.
No, I didn't. No. So there's just a lot. There's a lot. There's being a single mom. There is running a business. You just introduced Status Home Design. That's my 12,000 square foot retail store. I've got an e-commerce store that is booming. We just did a live sale last night, and I've been filling orders all morning. So I've got a lot of different things happening, but this podcast might be my favorite.
This is the fun part.
Don't tell anybody else from Status I said that.
This is
Just
the
kidding.
fun part of it.
I do. I love my show. Thank you so much to all the feedback, all the listeners for supporting the downloads. I just absolutely love it. So stay with me. And throughout the show, we're going to be telling our listeners how they can reach me. We've had questions submitted, so keep them coming, right? The more interactive this is, the better.
Well, we're definitely hitting the healthy lifestyle part of the show with this podcast.
Yes, that's
and
what this is
one.
part 2.
And that comes back to Crystal. So, Crystal, let's talk about what you bring to the table.
So I have been a nurse for about 20 years and a nurse practitioner in the area for 13. And I am very proud to say that I like to promote health. So I love this podcast. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it. But it's my favorite part about my job is educating people on how to make better choices. So instead of taking care of sick people, I like to help people have preventative medicine so that we aren't as sick as much.
Well, that's always terrific stuff. In fact, last podcast, after I got back to my office and my staff had listened to the show, they had all kinds of questions. So I'll get to those later. Not today. We've got a few questions I'm going to ask you for another show. But nonetheless, let's talk about the healthy lifestyle and getting back on track with part 2 of this series. And I want to go straight into the information for today.
Okay. On the last show, we talked a lot about the things we need to do. And more importantly, I think it's really the things not to do, both to lose weight and overall get into general better health. I can use Derek as an example. You know, he's not overweight by any means. His body mass is probably perfect in proportion to his size, and yet he's on BP meds and has some other things that we're going to dig into. So this isn't necessarily a weight loss. This is absolutely to be in better physical health overall. We're all aging, no matter what age you are. So that is the point of this, right? So let's continue and let's dig even deeper today. I know for me, this series and this journey is life-changing. I have implemented so many new things at home, and I can't wait to share. I've been sharing this with my listeners for many, many months, but I feel like I've really taken, the bull by the horns, and,
Exactly.
and I'm in it now in a really big way, and my kids are benefiting in a big way. I have always been fit, and I do eat pretty healthy, but I definitely feel like I lost it somewhere along the way. The weight and my overall health really started to decline. Now, I shared on the last show, and it's very vulnerable to share this kind of stuff, but I had more than one doctor tell me in 2018 and 2019 that I wasn't well. And I kept going to the doctor because I thought I had a virus or the flu or depression. I didn't have anything. I was stress sick. And that is a very, very real thing. I came out to the parking lot. I was sobbing. It's all under my control. Mm-hmm. The way that I felt, the weight, the way my skin looked, my energy levels, it was all me. It was stress. And so after I announced that on the last show, I've had a tremendous response from women saying they are just like me, that they are getting so much out of this. One lady in particular wrote asking for advice, and that's what I would like to read on air. Okay, this is from Stacy from Alpharetta, and she asked how to combat stress eating. She wrote, Leta, I'm also a single working mom, and I find I have little time for myself. During the shutdown, I found myself drinking more wine and eating more as a result of stress. I find comfort in food. I want to lose weight, but if I've had a tough day, I will sit with a glass of wine and a box of crackers to unwind. I keep thinking I will do better tomorrow, but I can't seem to get on track. What do you do to unwind after a stressful day? I can see how busy you are, and I relate to you. Can you give me any advice to stay out of the pantry and out of the wine? So I can speak to what I specifically do, but I want to turn this over to Crystal because she's got the expert advice, right? We're here to learn from her. So it's on you.
But
Go.
no pressure. I got to fix everybody.
No
Hot
pressure,
seat,
but I am
right.
holding a pen, and this is my notepad.
So first, let me say, Stacy, you're so normal. Leta, you're so normal. You are not alone. And that's the part of this podcast, right? Is there's so many women listening that are in the exact same shoes that you are, that I am, that Stacy from Alpharetta is. So let's start with, why are you making the choice that you're making? So I see, on average 20 to 24 women a day, and this is what I hear. I hear this over and over, whether they're 22, 32, 42, 52. It all depends on the age of your children, the work you do, the stress in your home. But everyone can make excuses for what they want to justify. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I tell women is you have to really figure out, what is it that makes you go for the wine? Is it because you're exhausted after your day and it's easy to go to? If that's the problem, quit buying it. Okay. Don't put it in the kitchen.
Easy fix.
I don't go out in public without makeup. So if I don't have wine and I've sat home at night and I have already washed my face for the evening, I'm not going back out. I will not reapply makeup to go buy the wine or to go buy the grasshopper cookies that I used to love on the cookie aisle, whatever my weakness is. Okay. So I would share with my husband, listen, I'm having a hard time. I need you to kind of help hold me accountable. I need you to, when I go to that pantry, I need you to say to me, you told me not to say anything, but babe, you're there again. And I use the word again because it's not just one time. And so I would go wash my face. And that's what I had to do. Yeah. I knew then I'm in for the night. Okay. I am not going out in public because I grew up in this area. I always see like 10 people if I go without makeup. If I have makeup on, I'll see no one. Yeah. So that's kind of what I had to do to make it stop, right? So I had to come that because I have the same struggle. And during COVID, my mother was living with us for a short time as well. And so I was still working full time. My husband was still working full time. And we were very stressed as healthcare professionals with COVID. So that was another excuse, right, to drink wine. Sure. Oh, and hey, mom likes wine. Mom's here. Mom's stressed. She's about to retire. She wants some wine. Well, now there's two of us. We should share this bottle of wine. Right. So I could come up with all the excuses, but I told her, I said, we got to stop the Cabernet at night thing because the sugar is packing on this thing around my waist that's sticking over my scrubs. And I should probably walk around in a bathing suit every night and it would keep me out of the wine and out of the pantry. So she agreed. And we just said, we're not going to buy wine at the grocery store. So I had my groceries delivered on purpose because you can't purchase alcohol through shipped.
I didn't think about that.
I didn't either.
Interesting point.
This is
Right?
great advice, tips,
Right.
all of it. And it seems like such a no-brainer, but yet you just said you see 100 to 125 women a
Yes.
week.
Right.
And we're all saying the same thing. Just
Yes.
don't buy it. Make the
Don't
conscious
buy it.
decisions.
Yes. And if you
Okay.
feel like you're going to leave to go buy it, when you sit in the car, have the moment in the garage. I may speak from experience.
Okay.
Have the moment in the garage where you go, why are you doing this?
Uh-huh.
Why? Why are you going to go do this? Because when you drink it, it's sugar, it's calories, it's empty. And truth be told, we don't sleep well when you drink wine because it's not a downer, it's an upper. It disrupts your sleep. So now you're going to go into the next day exhausted from poor quality sleep. We talked about how important sleep is last time. And so it's just a compounding effect. So then guess what happens the next night? You're exhausted because you were tired all day. And then you drink coffee at 2 o'clock because you were going to crash. And now you're really tired and now you're really stressed. And if I just drink this wine, I'm going to feel better. No, you're not. You're continuing your cycle. So at some point you have to say, and it's like we talked about last time with Derek talking about, eating and the tea and the water. Where's your line in the sand? At some point you have to realize the world's stress is no longer your excuse. Stop repetitive poor behavior. And where are you on that scale, 0 to 10? 0, you know what? I hear what you're saying. Don't really care. I'm only 27. I'm going to drink the wine. Or are you more like me? I'm not going to tell you my age. I'm not 27. But I can't drink that wine and still be cute in a bathing suit. So my thing is I want to feel good. I want to feel better. So I just had to quit. So we didn't order it. I don't get it. I don't bring it home. That doesn't mean that when I went to dinner for the first time at quarantine, I didn't have a glass.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
But it wasn't at my house.
Yeah. It can be, like you can have a dessert every now and then. Moderation. That's the word I'm looking for.
Everything.
Yes, everything is in
in
moderation,
moderation.
sure, but it's not every night. I think too, for me, with the quarantine, we're hearing the word stress, and that came for me a lot different. The stress for me was really about work and all these things that I do, and being single and making sure I'm doing a good job as a mom. Pressure really was a different correlation. For me, during the shutdown, it was about boredom.
Yes.
Truly boredom.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Yeah, there are only so many puzzles you can put together.
And it's way more
Games
fun
you
to
can
have
play.
wine during a puzzle than it is to just do a puzzle. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They're not that fun, but
Right.
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 It makes it a little more difficult too, depending on how much wine
I
you
know,
have.
but I get it. It is making those conscious decisions. So
Yes.
that is absolutely phenomenal advice, and
Yes.
and I hope, Stacey, that really answers your question in a way that I better than I even could, because I was her. I was drinking it at night, and I've noticed since I've implemented a lot of healthier things, which we're going to get to. Now, one of the places I'm exercising is on Thursday morning, and I was extremely stressed, not bored, but stressed after the first day of digital learning, which for us here in the county that we're in was last Wednesday, and the technology crashed, and it was just really a mess. And I cut out alcohol during the week, trying to make healthier choices, and I had a glass of wine that night, and I'm telling you, I was sluggish getting up the next morning, my workout. So I am trying to look better in a bathing suit, and I sabotaged myself. I still did it. Yay, but it was harder.
Right.
And I thought, okay, this is truly why I'm done. I'm done.
So you had this wasn't worth it.
Right.
moment.
It was not worth it. It felt good in the moment. I sat on the couch, took the breath, had the wine. We all love that red wine.
Yes.
But I'm still trying to be healthier. I'm still trying to be fit. I'm paying to go to a boot camp. And so why did I sabotage it with one glass of red wine that in that moment felt good, but didn't help me the next day?
All right, from the guy's perspective, I have to ask the question. We left out the word beer, but I'm assuming it applies as well.
That's true.
Absolutely.
He doesn't love wine. He
I
loves
will
to go to a
drink wine,
restaurant
but-
and get a beer.
Yeah, beer's typically the guy thing, and I will drink wine, but I prefer beer. And it's difficult. You know,
Yes.
you
All right,
open a
well,
beer,
speak
you're
to
gonna-
the calorie content. Like, dissect a beer a little bit more than we're talking about wine.
So it depends on what you're drinking. So I am married, and I will not throw him under the bus, but he may or may not agree with you, Derek. And, I can't speak for him or you or make either of you stop. But if you're going to do all these things to make it better, why would you then just throw it away at night when you're sitting around, not doing anything, drinking empty calories for something that's not going to help you sleep? Remember,
Right.
it's
Well,
an upper.
and from my perspective and my misunderstanding, I always thought a beer was relaxing. And I don't drink more than one usually at night. And that's it. It'll be with dinner, or it'll be maybe after dinner, and it's not every night. But I always thought that helped relax and de-stress from the day.
I love this. I love that you asked that. So that's great. That is a placebo effect. Just like if I was doing a study and I gave you the blood pressure medicine and I didn't give it to Leta, but you both thought you had it, I bet you both would tell me you felt better, because
Right.
that's what we
Of
do in
course.
America.
Of
Oh
course.
yeah, that pill made me better. Same thing with your beer. It is truly a habit. If we gave you a water in the same can or bottle or whatever you drink, I bet just the physical part of holding it and thinking to yourself, oh, it was a rough day. Man, this beer is so good. But what that beer did do was dehydrate you further. It's going to make you pee. Now you're up in the middle of the night. Now you're peeing, and it is an upper. So although initially the drink of it makes you go, yeah, I feel better, you had one beer. You didn't really have a buzz from your one beer, especially if you're having more than one. If you're having one beer a night, more than 3 nights a week, you didn't feel anything from your beer. It was a complete placebo effect. Sure. It was I feel so much better. I'm at
it's
home.
propping the feet up on the coffee table and laying back on the couch. And
Sports Center comes on. The beer goes in the hand.
Of course.
Maybe a little Tostito chips and salsa. Life is good, right? So, the same thing applies. It's still an upper. It's still not doing anything for you. If people can pull away from the alcohol makes me feel better and actually truly realize if you can go a week, challenge yourself, go a week and don't drink it. Do you notice a difference? I bet you sleep better. I bet you're not sluggish the next day. Like Leta said, when she was trying to do her exercise, she was sluggish. And she thought, why did I do that?
Sure.
You then get to the point where you go, that's not worth it. I think I'll drink some water because truth be told, I'm still going to have to pee when I drink that, but I'm not going to feel bad later.
Uh-oh.
We're like, oh.
It got real quiet, didn't it?
Oh.
The only response I could give was, okay.
And of course, this isn't a negative thing. I don't think bad about anybody who's drinking this.
It's not a bad thing. This is eye-opening.
Correct.
Yes, absolutely.
I can speak to Leta, and she can speak to me. Neither one of us drink for the purpose of getting drunk.
Of course you don't.
It's simply a relaxation. End of the day, tough day, stressful day, kids, work, everything.
Right.
And it's a chance to unwind.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
That's all it was about. But
that's right.
Oops.
Just on the weekends.
I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I've ever poured water in a wine glass.
That's a
with
good
a
idea.
fire.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this was a struggle for me. I talk like it's really super easy, and I don't even drink a lot. I mean, I might have a glass of wine every few weeks. I'm just not a big drinker. I just don't care. Now, the mindset is that's not worth the calories to me. But I literally was like, you know what? There's a fire going. We're watching a family movie. It's Friday night. It's Friday night. It doesn't matter if I don't sleep good tonight. I'm having wine. And then I'd be like, but why? What's it worth? What's it going to do for you? Nothing. So I'm going to pour it in a wine glass. I'm going to sit here with my water and pretend I got a white wine.
There you go.
And it worked just fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try that this weekend. All right. So I am going to stay on stress for a second because we've been talking a lot about stress eating. What about stress not eating? And that can be just as detrimental, and we can lose our weight. I know that grief can make you stress not eat. Breakups, work stress. I mean, there's a million things. I definitely want to put Derek kind of back in the hot seat and ask, because I'm not positive which one you are. I am a stress eater. I eat more for comfort. What about you?
I would say that I'm probably more of a stress not eater.
Mm-hmm. I would say that, but I wanted to hear what your answer was.
Now, there are times, of course, too, when if you've got snacks in front of you and you're stressed, then sure, it's easy to open a bag of chips or whatever. Mm-hmm. But probably 80% of the time, I'm a stress not eater. I will go without eating dinner because of a stressful day or because of something that's pressing that I've got to get done for work as an attorney the next day, a hearing or motion or whatever it may be.
So, Crystal, what does that do for your body? We know what overeating does. What does not eating enough do?
So I hear this a lot. I hear, I'm too busy. I don't have time to eat. And a lot of people eat one meal a day. I also hear what you're saying.
That's what I did yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yes. And so I'm too quote unquote busy. So first I then look at you and go, you're too busy to be healthy. That's a real tough pill
Am I supposed to answer?
No, I already know the answer. So
I was trying to look away, but you were
yes, I caught you. So, I tell people it's priorities. Uh-huh. So if you are sick, can you do your work you need to do? No. Who's going to prep for your case the next day if you're sick? Nobody. It's not going to happen. That's way worse for your business, right? So you have to make you a priority. So I tell people, and people come in and say, I only eat 1,200 calories a day. I don't know why I can't lose weight. And remember last time we kind of talked about your day, break it down. How much sleep do you get? When do you get up? What time do you eat?
Sure.
We kind of did all that. So it's the same thing. So what happens when you don't eat frequently, or you're only eating one, maybe 2 meals a day? Because for most people, it's one meal a day. Your body goes into what's called starvation mode. Your body was not fed, but your brain still has to work. The heart, the lungs, the kidneys, the stomach, those all require energy. And energy comes in sugar, fats, all the things that you eat as you're eating. Okay. When you're not putting food in your system, it doesn't perform like it needs to. That's where the sluggish, the fatigue, the difficulty concentrating, all of those things come from.
And elevating blood pressure probably too, right?
Absolutely, because now you're stressed. Mm-hmm. So all of those things play a role. So when you only eat that one time, your body takes everything from what you ate and it stores it. So all of the fat that you ate gets stored. All the sugar that you ate, it holds on to it. Because you know what it says? Derek fed me. He's not going to do it again for about 24 hours. That beer tonight's not going to be enough. And those Tostitos, I'm just going to hold on to that fat too. So it holds on to it because it's got to have it to restore the brain at night while you're sleeping. And it's got to have it all day the next day when that stress hits your desk of that, whatever it is that you have going on at work. And even for people who don't work outside of the home, the laundry's got to be there. Digital learning's got to happen. Your husband's depending on a meal. You got to run to Publix. The body's still running. So if you don't feed it, it's only surviving on that little bit you gave it. So it goes into starvation mode when you eat again. Guess what it does? Pulls all the fat out and holds it again. But if you feed it more frequently, it will go, ooh, thanks for that. I'm going to use that. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to take a little of this stored fat and I'm going to use it to also help my body run. And I'm going to burn some of that fat. And I tell people, if you will eat more frequently and healthy, not more frequent crap, but healthy every 2 to 3 hours, you'll lose weight without even stepping foot in a gym. Because 80% of your weight and how you feel is what passes between your lips and the frequency in which it does it.
And here I sit having not eaten breakfast this morning.
Or dinner.
Or dinner last
crackers.
night. And that's it. And so guess what? We're going to lunch after this is done today.
You're in big trouble.
Well, I'll buy you lunch.
Okay. Well,
don't forgive him that easy.
I've got to store up some stuff for
all right. We are doing some good things, though, and I want to get to that. So I am taking all of this advice. I have made huge changes at home, and I hope that you guys listening are making these with me. Please send me your feedback. We talked a lot about the wine and the beer. I have really tried to make a conscious effort to cut it out during the week. I still enjoy my weekends. Again, I'm not a huge drinker, and Derek kind of touched on that, but I do like wine, and we're having a fire this weekend, and maybe I'll try to put some water into that glass. But that was a cutout, right? This is baby steps. This is it can't be all or nothing, or I won't stick with it.
Correct.
So I'm trying to implement some things. One thing that has been extremely helpful to keep myself organized, the fridge organized, I just printed out a weekly menu planner. And the kids have a bulletin board with their chore charts, and I just laid out the week. These are all the dinners we're going to have. There's no complaining. I have the groceries that we need. And I've done that for the last few weeks, and it's been perfect. There's healthy food on the table every single night. We're sitting down as a family. It's been wonderful. Of course, buying organic. I ordered my groceries instead of going to the store, and I, can sit and go to, I'm a Kroger shopper just because it's next to my home. So I went to the Simple Truth and tried to get all my produce and all even the snacks, just get it all organic, which is very helpful. No more junk snacks. Good. Trying to really, and I don't snack a lot, I don't think, but I tried to do nuts and for my daughter, noticing that
the kids.
When she gets home from school, she was hungry yesterday, so I gave her a huge bowl of watermelon.
Perfect.
Instead of Cheetos, which
Great.
is what she was asking for. So little mini things that are helping them too. I mentioned earlier I have joined a boot camp. Now, this is not some formal, it is absolutely amazing, and I hope to have her on the show in the weeks to come. But she's transforming the physical part of this, but she's doing driveway workouts. She was a fitness trainer, and during the Corona shutdown, when all the gyms closed, she started a group of us meet in her driveway and use weights and get on our hands and knees and do push-ups. It's like, it's easy. Anyone can do this.
Yes.
Anyone. I like the structure of going to someone because I don't come up with this stuff on my own,
right.
And I'm not disciplined enough, but grab your girlfriends. We meet at 7 a.m. to walk or whatever it is. It is a very simple thing that I implemented, but I feel amazing. And now I'm starting to work out at home on the days I'm not with her just to keep it going. So it just a little bit takes off. And because I'm doing all that, I'm sleeping a ton,
Yay.
Which is helpful. And I just need it. Yep. I'm ready to pass out by 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So all of that, I'm changing, and I feel it, and I feel better, and I'm excited, and my skin looks better, and my pants fit better. So that is, again, I'm here to share what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back to Crystal because her advice is beyond, and I know we're all hanging on every word she says. So you have many patients. You gave us the number, about 125 a week, that come to you for women's health, but a lot of it is weight loss and overall better health. So we started this last week with the advice, and we really dug in to keep up with everything that we're eating and drinking, right? Being aware, being mindful. That is the first step. So if I'm sitting in your office at say office twice, but that's not what I meant. I come to see you as a nurse, so I'm sitting in your office, and that was our first appointment. So today is our second appointment. So you gave me homework. We all went and did it.
Okay.
This is appointment number 2.
Okay.
Now what do you start with?
Okay, great question. So, now we would just pull out where you tracked what you ate every day and what you drank, and we would look at the exercise that you did, and we're going to talk about all the positive things you did. And you just listed them all. I don't have to list them again, but you've made a multitude of changes. And I hear you saying, I love what I've done. Excellent. I love it. Great. First, I want to say congratulations. You and your children are going to be healthier for it. Derek's going to be forced to be healthier for it, right?
Kicking,
ready
screaming,
or not.
hollering, yelling.
So you see that everybody will make better choices. This is great for your children because parents don't need to make 2 meals. Your kids need to eat what you eat. If you're eating healthier, they need to as well. That it starts with children reading labels and doing things like that. My son is 11. He reads labels. So, by doing these things and setting this example for your children is the same as setting the example that you don't, smoke, you don't do drugs. It's the same thing for the children. You eat healthy choices. It helps you for health promotion, right? They see you exercising. They may join you. You may do a family walk at the park. Instead of coming home and Derek popping open the beer and putting his feet on, you guys may decide to just go for a stroll at the local park or just get out in the neighborhood and just go for a walk, So we first want to commend you for all the wonderful things that you've done and the changes that you've made. And then I just have you look back at what you've done and say, after you started being accountable and actually looking at what you were doing, and it didn't take long before you said, oh, this has to change. Right? And I told you that last time. When you start writing it down, I tell people, don't change what you're eating. Look at what you're doing. It is hard to do that for 3 days and not implement a change. And that's exactly what you did. You saw what was happening and you were like, nope, this isn't going to do it. So you meal planned. Great. I love it. Excellent. Keep it up. I would tell you, keep doing that.
Yes.
So, the important thing is make sure that you're still eating 3 meals a day, 2 snacks. So the snacks are between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And after dinner, we don't eat.
Okay.
And if you have to, if you're starving, you need to, or the kids. I mean, my son has to eat. That's where you throw in that apple with peanut butter or whatever else is that you need.
Okay. So he just passed me a note and I lost my train of thought. So
I'm sorry.
I had a question. I was getting ready to say, okay, the homework. So the first homework for the first 2 weeks was writing everything down. So what do you tell your patients to do after the second appointment? What are we all supposed to go home and do to implement this?
Okay, great. So anywhere where we need to make a change, if you notice that you were still, maybe you were still consuming alcohol more nights out of the week than you would like to, but it's still an improvement from before. First of all, give yourself the recognition that you've identified that there was something else you need to work on, and let's hit that. And so for each patient, it's typically something different. Some may tell me, I still just can't eat breakfast. Great. I'm going to tell you, you need to work on breakfast. You may say to me, I'm exercising 2 days a week and I really think I should do more. So it's really individualized. So I go through each patient and I say, let's look at what you did. Tell me what you're happy with the choices that you made, and tell me yourself, do you think that there's something else that you could change, or is there somewhere else that you see that you're failing, or that you would like to implement a change or do something different, or maybe we need to hone in a little bit more.
Okay.
And sometimes it's as easy as looking at what the overall calorie intake was. Maybe you are eating more frequently, but it's not the best health, and so you've got high calorie intake. Or maybe it's like we talked about with Derek, you're not eating enough and it's too low of a calorie. So I tell most people you want to aim for about 1,800 calories a day for an adult. And so you might want to look at that calorie content and make sure, am I really hitting that? And if I'm not, where can I make that up? Okay,
so we're going to interject. You brought a label on something that you
Yes, I
ate
did.
for lunch, and you wanted Crystal to take a look at it because he called me from Kroger, and he was standing there saying, I've had so many salads. I'm really sick of this. I have a microwave in my office. I'm going to take something back. So I want you some kind of lean cuisine, and that's not the brand name. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here, but I want to talk about the calorie content just a little bit.
And that's it. You made a comment about all the things I put on my salad, and honestly, I'm kind of tired of eating salad.
Right.
So I tried to make a healthy choice, and I tried to be selective as to which microwave meal to pick. So I brought the labels.
Great. I love it. And so I've, been glancing at these labels here and looking, and I do like that, just so the listeners know, one of these is a grilled chicken and broccoli Alfredo, and the other one is a beef with soy sauce and brown rice. So, everybody hears chicken and broccoli and thinks, ooh, that's got to be healthy.
There's green stuff.
That's right. Green. Got to be good for you.
That's right.
And it's chicken. Okay. So when I'm looking at these and breaking them down, overall, if you had to choose a frozen food, what you chose is not horrible. And we're tired of salad. We don't want salad anymore.
Yes.
You can only eat salad so much. I ate salad every day for a year and a half. I was so done with salad, I couldn't do it. So that being said, looking at these, they look okay, but they're really low in calories. So I'm looking at one of these that Derek has, and the chicken one only has 190 calories. Remember, we just talked about not eating enough.
Right.
Correct.
If this is all you ate yesterday,
That
it
was
was
it.
190 calories. And I may or may not have already spoke with him about what he ate when he got home that night. And we were looking at it, and it was like a pack of crackers. And the calories that he ate from that weren't much either. They were 160. So now when we add up your calories, I wanted you to hit how many?
1,800.
1,800.
And that's around 400.
We're barely even getting to 400.
Yeah.
Even if we add your beer, you didn't get enough.
No, he didn't. He didn't
So-
have
I didn't
one
even have a
last
beer
night,
last
I'm just
but-
saying if he did, he still didn't hit it. So what we want to be mindful of is that you've got to eat more frequently. Yes, I'm proud that you read your label. So this goes back to reviewing with the patient second appointment. I would tell you, Derek, I'm so proud of you for, going ahead and reading these labels and being acutely aware of where you're at. So let's first of all recognize that's a huge change for you. And
Yes,
you
it is.
recognize that you needed lunch. So A, I'm proud of you for what you've done. B, now homework for this next week is going to be, remember, I need you to eat a breakfast and a snack, but I need you to up this caloric intake that you're doing so you can try to hit your 18. So I'm just going to ask you, have the app, whatever app you want to use, and track your calories and make sure you're eating enough, because this is not going to hold you long and you're going to be exhausted. Then you're going to snack with poor quality choices.
And in the back to school theme, I got 3 out of 5 gold stars, or
I would say
A B
3 out of
minus, a B?
5. I would totally
Good.
say we're at a B, Derek.
Oh, he got a B.
Yes.
That's probably Derek's first B ever in
Maybe.
life.
So I'm
Maybe.
proud of you because you recognize that there were changes to be made and you've done it. So let's be happy for that. Now let's focus on making even better.
Okay.
That's
What-
very helpful.
All right. So
Good.
giving him the advice on upping the caloric
'Kay.
intake. Okay?
Okay.
And I want to lead in. We talked about it last week because it's what you and I do. And, this is part of the show where it works for us. We're going to talk about it a little bit more, and we're going to tell our listeners how we can help them. But I'm leading into talking about isogenics because
Great.
for me, I think this would really help him.
100%. It would help everyone. So I actually have my...
You do.
Yeah, I
You're
noticed
sitting in
that.
the studio with your shake, and
That's
I
right.
just drank one before I got here.
Good.
Yes. So again, this is not a pitch for a product.
Right.
This is a lifestyle choice that we didn't even know we had. Each of us was
Right.
doing isogenics
Right.
when we met. This
Right.
was a sheer coincidence.
Correct. Absolutely.
But you're here. You're the expert. Go a little bit deeper and tell our listeners why this is such a successful system. What and what it can offer.
Okay. So I love it because, the nurse practitioner and me researched forever protein shakes. They're not all the same. They're not all equal. I love that these come from New Zealand, good quality protein from grass-fed cows. There's no antibiotics, no steroids. I could go on and on about the quality of the product itself. But in general, like you said, we know that this works. How do I know this works? I've been using it for 3 years next month. My husband's been using it, multiple family members. I actually started it to prove to somebody it wouldn't work. It was so amazing. By day 9, I had to start sharing it with people. So I have coached hundreds of people through lifestyle changes, and many of them use isogenics as well, and they still do to this day. It's easy. It's convenient. It's 2 shakes a day. You replace your breakfast and your lunch. But what I'm hearing both of you tell me is you're not eating it anyway, Derek. So if you add it, now we've
Yes.
added
Yes.
good quality, dense whey protein that they also offer in a plant-based for people who don't want to do dairy, and you just drink it. You add water and you drink it. I literally finished with a patient, jumped in the car, was shaking my shake on the way here with 8 ounces of water, dumped the powder in the cup, literally drinking it on the way. As you've seen, I walked in the studio. I've got half of it drunk now. I'll be done with it before I hit the car. I will go back and see my afternoon patients, and I never sacrificed my health, because if I'm not eating, I'm not giving my patients the best of me, and I have to do that. And then I'll have a snack this afternoon between patients again. So I'm going to get 2 meals, 2 snacks before I ever get home tonight, and I'm going to feel good about it.
Right.
And I'm not standing in Kroger staring at a frozen
Yeah.
food section
And
going,
not
okay, which
eating
one of
enough,
these is going
right.
to work for me?
Right. You're actually at the office doing the work you need to do. So guess what? Tonight you can go on that walk with the kids and Leta because you're not at home working because you had to spend an hour in Kroger debating over a stupid
Exactly.
label.
True.
It's
See?
already done for you.
I understand. Right.
It's
right.
a win-win.
It's easy.
And you can speak more to the nutrition. I can speak to the convenience, which is really why I started it.
Right.
I love the vitamins that come with the system that you take in the morning and the natural accelerator. And I am someone, I'm very caffeine sensitive, and I was worried about that. And it has never made me feel jittery. and that is important. If a lot of
Right.
people think, oh, I don't want to take an accelerator, I promise you, one cup of coffee and it makes me shake. That's
Right.
how caffeine sensitive I am.
Right.
So the products are amazing. I'm not going to go into every single one
Right,
because
of course.
we're at the end of the show here, but I do want to express. Crystal is a coach. I am a coach. We are here. That's what Status Life with Leta is all about. I told you at the top of the show, this is a lifestyle podcast, but I am here to help. I'm taking you through my journey step by step. If isogenics is something you want to try, if you want to get some more information about it, contact me. I will respond to each and every person that reaches out. And so the best way to do that, honestly, just find me on Facebook and send me a private message. It is Status Life with Leta. It is there. I'm on Instagram, but just go to Facebook. Let's all go through one channel and all the information, all the coaching. If you have questions about the podcast, a question you want to ask to Crystal, she will be with us again for the next show. Send them to me.
I was going to say, as the host of Status Life with Leta, I'm always in the hot seat, but I guess I'll take on another title. I'll be the guinea pig
For what?
for isogenics.
I love it.
Yeah, why
Yay!
not?
Let's do
Why
it.
not?
Woohoo! We need the applause.
I know.
again.
Where's the applause mic? Derek's going to do it.
Yeah.
Are
well,
you really?
Yes.
Yay!
Why not?
Okay.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking to
proud of
myself,
you.
I kind of
Good.
go back to what I said. I was staring at the frozen food section at Kroger. Then I walked by the deli. Should I get a sandwich? Should I get a salad? No, I don't want a salad. And it's time consuming. It's all those things that I don't want to do in the middle
Right.
of the day.
Yeah.
So why not?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'll give it
Awesome.
a shot.
I love it.
So we will report back on the next show. You can tell everybody how it's working, and you will be the guinea pig for this. But that's great. I'm proud of you. And I didn't know. You hadn't told me that you were maybe just
Surprise.
listening to Crystal
Yeah,
kind of
well,
go through your
it's
day
both
yesterday.
of y'all. I
Oh,
mean,
good.
the fact I didn't eat dinner, the fact that I didn't eat breakfast yet today, all those things that I should have done. Hopefully, it'll put me on a regular schedule that'll help tremendously.
Sure.
I solved your problem.
That's right.
Easy,
and I've done
convenient,
the
and
same.
good.
I've had my vitamins. I had
Mhm.
my first shake, and now I'm ready for a snack. So,
That's right.
and we're health and nutrition. That's
All
what
right.
we're trying
Well,
to
I
do.
will be signing up.
Woohoo!
I will be signing up. Well, one last thing before we go to close the show. Tell everybody how to find you on all of your social media platforms, your website, everything.
Okay.
You and also Crystal as well, but I'll start with you, Leta.
Okay, so I just mentioned Status Life with Leta. Find it on Facebook or Instagram. The podcast is up on all the podcast channels. So go back. If you're listening today for the first time, definitely go back to the first one in this series. But there are so many other shows with fantastic information. Status Home Design is my retail store, and the Status Market is my online store. And both are booming. Status Design Studio is my interior design firm. So everything Status. That's all you need to know. You can Google Status, and you can find me any which way you need to.
You're not very busy at all.
I mean,
All right,
Very.
Crystal.
So I do all of my isogenics coaching through my Facebook page. So again, just like Leta, that would be to search my husband and I, because we both do it. It would be Scott, the letter N, Crystal Ledwith on Facebook.
okay. And thank you so much for being
Thanks for
here
having
with
me
us.
again.
I know
Derek,
you're
I'm
super
excited.
busy, so
Yeah,
we got to
yeah.
let her get back to
Yes.
her patient.
Yes, we do.
But
Yes, we do. And as we close, thank you so much for joining us on Status Life with Leta, presented by Status Home Design and the law office of Derek M. Hayes. Don't forget that you can enjoy any of our episodes anytime by visiting businessradiox.com, selecting the Gwinnett Studio, and then clicking on Status Life with Leta. This program is also available on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, for Leta Brooks, I'm Derek Hayes, and you've been listening to Status Life with Leta on Business Radio X.